Thank you.
Thank you.
Padia.
Well, Trace, the crisis continues to deepen in the nation of Georgia. The U.S. State Department is evacuating more than 170 American citizens. What else might the U.S. have to do before the conflict escalates further? Zeyno Baran is the director of the Center for Eurasian Policy at the Hudson Institute. She is also a friend of Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Baran.
Thank you very much.
The United States so far trying not to become too enmeshed in this. What do you think their role should be?
Well, the U.S. is enmeshed because part of the reason Russians are doing what they're doing in Georgia is to send a signal to American allies in that part of the world that when it comes to shove, America is not going to be able to defend them. I know that the U.S. government has been involved at the diplomatic level, at the UN, and otherwise directly with the Russians, but ultimately it hasn't really stopped the Russians, and they're coming into the Georgian capital Tbilisi, and they want the ouster of the democratically elected president of independent country Georgia.
Yeah, this conflict has widened out from what started out as an attempt to fight over those two breakaway provinces. As you mentioned, now Russia opening up a second western front in addition to taking Gori. So you see this as Russia trying to go all the way?
Yes, in fact, for those of us who've been following Russian statements and developments in that region, Russia has been waiting for some sort of an opportunity to do what it's doing now. It was never about the South Ossetians, and that was just an excuse. And from the beginning, they wanted to make sure the separatist regions, Abkhazia and South Ossetia, would not be part of Georgia, and using this possibility, make sure that Georgia doesn't get into NATO, and very importantly, as I said, send a signal to America, basically saying, we're doing exactly what you did in Serbia, bombing without listening to us to stop. And Prime Minister Putin has said Georgia is doing ethnic cleansing and genocide, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it helps them make their case that Saakashvili is no different than Milosevic. So there's a lot of Russian reaction to America going on as well, and that's why it is so essential that the U.S. reacts in a much more direct way than it has so far.
What exactly would you like to see the United States do?
Well, first of all, we've seen the French president will be going there tomorrow, and other European leaders have been there. We need to see a top-level American representative going there. But of course, those visits on their own don't lead to much. There has to be a NATO statement. So far, some statements have come from America, but there has to be a NATO statement because that will make it clear. But of course, beyond statements, there has to be much more credible signals sent to Russia that they really will not be able to get away with this, and there will be very clear consequences, starting with canceling Sochi Olympics of 2014.
All right. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Zeyno Baran of the Center for Eurasian Politics, thank you.
If you can believe this.